Hello there and welcome to this DIY tutorial. My name is Nadine. I'm an art educator and a designer who specialises in leathercraft and the use of upcycled materials. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make one of these cute hanging planters out of leather. So let's see what we need to get started. Here's a quick rundown on the tools and materials that we're going to be using for this project. So over here I've got a marble slab and a vinyl mallet that we're going to use for the hammering part of the project. I've also got a leather hole punch and some upholstery shears. Over here we've got a ruler and a pen. You also might need a hook and also a metal ring so that you can hang the project up once it's done. Over here we've got some metal rivets, which you can get from most Leathercraft stores. And last but not least, of course, the leather, which will need to be at least 65 centimeters in length. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is lay out the leather, and I'm going to get my ruler and my pen and measure out 4 strips. So as you can see here, I've already drawn out my strips onto the back of my leather. So this is the front. You want to make sure that you draw on the back so that the pen marks are not as obvious. So what I've done is drawn out all 4 of my long strips, which is 65 centimeters in length, and they're about 1.5 centimeters wide. I've also got this extra little strip here that's about 12 centimeters long, and I'm going to use that to make a little loop at the very end. Okay, so the next step is to get our leather shears, and we're going to start to cut out our design. Now I'm using upholstery shears because I just find that they are really much better at getting through this leather. If you try using normal scissors, you're going to be there all day. So make sure you invest in a really good pair of upholstery or leather shears, because you'll definitely be glad that you did. So now that we've got our 4 strips of leather already cut out, and our little one as well, what you want to do is just get your pen and make a little mark at the ends of each of your strips, and this is just going to help us figure out where we're going to put the hole punch. So what we want to do then is get our hole punch and start punching our first hole onto that spot that we've marked. Press down and you'll hear a nice little click sound. That's how you know that it's gone through. What I like to do is line up my holes so that they're all in the same spot. So you can actually do multiple layers of leather at a time. So just like a sandwich, and get that hole punch in there, and there we go. So that has punched through all 4 of my leather strips there. So once you've done one side, you do the same on the other side, and don't forget to do your little strip of leather as well. Now these are teeny tiny, but this is just to show you what the rivets look like. So this larger one here, this is called the shank, and the smaller piece is the cap. So the cap fits on top of the shank and basically holds our pieces of leather together. So our next step is going to be to get our leather strips and to lay them out in a cross shape. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you're going to come and get the shaft part of your rivet, and we're going to thread that through all of the holes that we've made there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. And then you get the little cap and you stick that on top. Alright, now this is the part where it gets really fun. I've got a slab of marble down on my surface, and what I'm going to do is hammer that little rivet. I'm using a mallet, a plastic mallet. Don't use a metal hammer because you'll end up just ruining your rivet, and if later on you're using tools, you don't want to be using a metal hammer. So all you need to do is just give it a gentle tap, maybe a couple of times, and that's it. Okay, so the next part is basically to join all of our strips of leather together at the top. So I'm going to get the shaft on my little rivet and pick my first piece of leather, just pop that over the top. My second piece of leather, pop that over the top. Third piece of leather, whoops. Fourth piece of leather, and just make sure when you're doing this that your leather is all has the front part of the leather facing, because otherwise it'll get twisted. Then we're going to get our little strip of leather here, and that's just going to go over the top in the first hole, flip it over to make a loop for the second hole like that, and then we're going to get our little rivet cap and just press that onto the top. Okay, that's nice and strong because it's got the rivet to secure it. Then you can get your metal ring. I'm going to bend that open and pop that through the loop that we've made like that. And if you have a hook, you can also hook that on there ready for hanging. So now all we need is a plant and a pot, and we're ready to start using our hanger. So now I have my pot and my plant, and I want to put it in my hanger. So the easiest way to do that is to just get your leather strips here and place it on the ground. And we're going to get the pot, try and line it up in the middle there, just like that. Okay, so there we have our hanging leather planter. Isn't that fantastic? I'm going to hang that up on the wall, see what it looks like. Beautiful. So, thank you for making it this far. Well done. Hope you had lots of fun. Feel free to get in touch if you've got any questions at all. I've also got a lot of information on working with leather on my blog at spiritfiredesigns.com, so feel free to check that one out as well. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy.